Okay, like a grown up.
I'm gonna sit normally now.
You can sit like a
All
grown
right,
up.
let's give a hands up to
I feel like that was for me.
You don't fucking control me.
I feel like I got...
Hey, booed you turning the chair around.
No, they don't control you, but clearly I do.
Yeah, oh yeah. There you go.
There's never been a question about that. You control us all. Also, shout out us graduating our booze.
Not me.
Yes, we've moved up to hard liquor.
We've moved up.
You're on to bourbon.
I'm on
Brownness
the
of
bourbon.
Not
brown
me,
liquor.
I'm on that brown.
Because I gotta walk in the crowd later, and I'm very afraid of falling.
Oh, that part's gonna be fun. So,
do
shall
this.
we return to the story of Bo Gritz, right? So, when we last left off, Bo was touring the country, telling lies that he didn't need to tell about Vietnam, and raising money to try and send a bunch of goons back to Southeast Asia to rescue a bunch of guys who were not in Southeast Asia.
It's just, is he bored? Like,
I mean, this seems more fun than like getting
Actual
a job.
war. Yeah,
like,
true.
What would you rather do? Lie to television about Vietnam and take a bunch of money to go vacation in Thailand, or work?
I mean, yeah. Like,
Look, I'm lying about
but
Vietnam.
I don't think I would
I'll
like
tell you that
actually
much.
do the gun. Like I would just go vacation.
That's the part.
That's
I
what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
do.
Like
Yes,
I was like,
yes.
yeah, I'd go and just
And
never come back.
unfortunately, Bo does not have that governor in his head.
No.
No, when you and I start our Vietnam grift, it's going to go a lot better. It's going to go a lot better.
There'll be a lot of timeshares involved.
It's going to be hard convincing people in 2040 that there's still U.S. soldiers trapped in Vietnam. Yeah.
You can't tell me I'm wrong. Deep down, Bo is just a podcaster.
So Bo's touring the country. He's speaking on different TV shows. He's talking at churches, at veterans organizations. He's telling all these stories. After months of raising money, he launches what he calls Operation Velvet Hammer in 1981.
Come on,
I
man.
know.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a
That's where I
good
draw
one.
the
Now, look,
line, fam.
I would use that title. If I was writing a screenplay called Operation
Velvet
Hammer,
Hammer, that
it,
is a-
it would be about a strip club that had to arm themselves. in
Yes, I was
order
like,
to-
this
yeah,
is a
like,
porn.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
order to carry. No, not a porn. What?
That's Velvet Hammer.
Yeah, one of the
That's a
employees
porn.
at the strip club gets kidnapped by a mafia, and the others have to form a commando unit to rescue them.
So it's like a stripper escape room.
Yes, kind of. Yes.
It's Portland.
And you have-
We probably have
Yes, that exists.
No, it's like Taken, but instead of there being one Liam Neeson, there's a bunch, and they're all strippers,
Got
right?
it.
Like that's the story. That's not a bad idea for. I'm just gonna, yeah.
Greenlit.
I do
Yeah,
think
thank
I
you.
do think an adult escape room might actually be a viable business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
okay.
viable business
Anyway.
that will immediately get like the
Immediately.
lawsuits. Oh my God.
Immediately.
So-
yes.
He launches Operation Velvet Hammer in 1981. Writing for Time magazine, Pico Iyer reports that Bo gathered up, quote, 21 drifters, dreamers, and desperados, recruited a psychic, a hypnotherapist, and some reporters, and began practicing.
Okay. I might be here for this one. I'm like, I'm kind of on his team now.
If I'm putting together a platoon of veterans in order to like rescue guys, what do you need? Well, you need some drifters, obviously. You're gonna need some dreamers, some desperados, a psychic, clearly.
A psychic.
You're not gonna get far without a hypnotherapist, and of course, some reporters.
I might be on his team for this one. Okay.
And so they start training together to go into Laos and to rescue, or at least find proof that there's men being held prisoner across the border in Vietnam. Now, prop, if you're training roughly a platoon's worth of guys who are already combat veterans, but if you're training them to insert themselves without any support into some of the most dangerous terrain on Earth in order to rescue prisoners from a heavily guarded camp, where would you do that training?
I mean, caveat would be I wouldn't be doing this training.
Right. If you
'cause
were,
it's the
if you were.
dumbest thing to do
I
ever.
promise you
Super
don't
bad
have the
idea.
right answer.
But
It's
I know
so
I don't.
funny.
Where would I do this?
Yeah, where would you train these guys to go into Laos?
Somewhere similar to Laos.
That's a good answer. That's
No,
close.
no, but
South
no.
America.
If you're Bo Gritz, the place you pick is the American Cheerleading Association Academy in Leesburg, Florida. Up Obviously. Where would you guys go, right?
You made that. That's not what that's saying.
Look, Bo...
Ain't no
Bo,
way in the world that's what your script says.
Sun Tzu says, know your enemy and know yourself, and you need not fear the result of 1,000 battles.
I think
Bo knows the North
think
Vietnamese.
I think he also said, "Burr, it's cold in
Burr,
here."
burr, 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 burr.
So I was going to do a bit about how North Vietnam based all of their fighting strategies on cheerleading, but
I mean,
you already took it from me, so we're good. We're good.
I was one step ahead.
Oh
You
my
were.
gosh.
Just like the
Somebody-
cheerleaders.
Just like the cheerleaders.
Cheerleader's middle name is Lynn.
So, one of Bo's, to give you an idea of the caliber.
That was a throwaway joke. Y'all catch that one? Y'all catch that throwaway joke? The middle name is Lynn. She's Kaylee Lynn, you know what I'm saying? Dang, sorry.
I can't. I literally.
So,
I apologize. Let's go.
I should give you an idea of the kind of men that Bo's working with. So,
Yeah.
one of his volunteers is a guy named Terry Smith. Now, Terry is a former Green Beret, so that's good, right? You probably want someone with that kind of experience on the team. Now, before getting involved in Velvet Hammer, Terry had been training to become a college football player, and he quit spring training to go to Laos with Bo. He told Time, when they asked him why, "I gave up something I've always wanted, but there were at least a dozen Green Berets on operations in that area in Laos who never got out. When I shoot the first commie, I'm gonna have an orgasm. I'm gonna come out..." Wait.
This has gone off the rails. Okay.
"I'm gonna come out with a POW or die trying. I figure we'll either go down in history or start World War III." That's a beautiful
Wow.
mind.
You
That's
need
a
to stay
beautiful
home.
mind. I'm sorry.
You need to stay home.
Yeah, you need to
Oh my
not have a
goodness.
gun.
You need to not have a gun.
Look, we could talk about the Second Amendment, but that should get your guns taken away.
I feel like,
Nope. Hand them over. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like,
yes, absolutely not.
This person is unwell.
yeah, very. Oh, we haven't not finished with Terry Smith. So
That's the name, Terry
that's
Smith.
Terry Smith. That's very Terry behavior. Yeah. Sorry if there's any. Are there any Terrys in the audience? Thank God.
Wow.
Thank God. Thank God.
It's a Terry-free zone.
I'm
I
now
can't
very
stand
curious.
those motherfuckers.
There's 500 people in this room and none of y'all are Terry.
It's not a real name.
That's an
Sorry.
interesting stat. Yeah.
It's a fake name. I think Terry was a CIA plant. Anyway.
Especially
So-
with that type of
You
talk. 'Cause, like,
would.
Right.
that's some very much some like blacks rule energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
You know we don't call ourselves that, right? Like we would never write blacks rule, okay? I'm just
Bo's
it's true.
roughly 24 guys, right? Smith, this guy we quoted from, purportedly a combat veteran, but no one's checking up on that. I say he said he was a Green Beret. All these guys say that they had been involved. No
Yeah.
one's checking.
Wait, was he not? Was he not?
I don't know. No one knows. No one looked. No one asked.
Terry.
These
it
are
was
men
Terry
who
Hot.
showed up at a cheerleading academy in Florida and said, "I'm willing to travel to Laos to kill strangers." Like,
God.
who
Eric-
That
knows
there-
what they did for a
that there
living?
might be one of our friends
Yeah,
there.
maybe our buddy's there,
Yeah.
right?
I'm just saying Eric Prince is foaming at the
Oh,
mouth.
yeah. Oh, beyond foaming. And not just at the mouth. So,
My mom is here.
hi, Sophie's mom.
Hi, Mom.
So, Terry told reporters a lot of beautiful nonsense. Not beautiful nonsense, a lot of nonsense. One of his stories that he would tell the news was that when he was in Vietnam, he watched a whole platoon of NVA soldiers stop and cut up a pregnant woman together. Quote, "I wanted to rip their heads off, but I couldn't do nothing about it." Now, look, no side in any war has a monopoly on war crimes. But 30 guys all stopped to cut up a single pregnant woman is just not the sort of war crime I'm gonna believe happened unless you have some evidence, right? That's just a weird move, right? What was the situation where you couldn't do anything? These guys are all occupied and you're just what? Like, what are you claiming was going on here, Terry? I don't know. That said, do drink, because it is a war crime. So, get on it, folks. Now, I think that this is the kind of nonsense that fits in less with what actually happened and more with the fact that all these guys are now telling tall tales about the things that actually happened in order to express their fantasies they're trying to justify the fact that they want to go murder a bunch of strangers in the jungle, right? Like, so you have to tell, like, what's the worst thing I can imagine? Well, this would justify me doing whatever, right? This summary of that Florida gathering by Time magazine really says a lot. Quote, "They were just high on the idea, adrenaline, and the Ballad of the Green Berets blaring over the loudspeaker at all of them. An ex-Special Forces sergeant still embittered about losing his son in Vietnam. And Terry Smith humping a rucksack, urging them on, 'Suck that clean Florida air!'" Just a maniac. All these guys, maniacs.
What's going on, man?
Their plan, the plan that they're training for is nuts from the jump. Bo's idea, we're all gonna fly into Laos as tourists, and then we'll rent a house on the Mekong Delta across from Vietnam, and we'll pretend to be providing humanitarian aid to Cambodian refugees. We'll get smuggled a bunch of machine guns, which should be easy, obviously, and then we'll embed with friendly anti-communist guerrillas fighting the Vietnamese state across the border, right? And they'll help us find these POWs. If we're captured, we're gonna travel with gold so we can pay our ransoms. And we're going to bring with us, just in case, what they called get-out-of-jail-free cards. These were self-printed IOUs promising $1,000 if someone took them and the bearer to a U.S. embassy. The embassies had not agreed to validate these.
First of all,
These are just, I carry one of those in my pocket now. Like,
yeah, first of all, America didn't send you, number one. And number two, you are going to be robbed immediately.
Immediately.
Yes.
Oh, crap, you've seen where this is going.
Yeah, like...
So, the next part of the plan is, once they find a POW camp, we will either break everyone out or we'll take pictures, depending on the situation. And then we'll send the proof back to D.C., and that'll convince the president to send air support from the 7th Fleet in, right? We will start the war in Vietnam right there. He's gonna immediately call in an airstrike, and we'll free these guys. Now,
Bro, this is like this ain't no internet. Like, how long you gonna call the president from Laos?
yeah, you're gonna call the president from fucking Laos, and you're gonna get him to send the 7th Fleet to bomb Vietnam again. 10 years after the war ends.
Okay.
Great idea, guys.
Perfect.
Amazing. And Bo's plan is that, like, obviously we'll win a second time, right? Like, you know, it's like when you're like playing your brother or something at Smash Brothers, and like he like gets you, but he just mashed buttons, you know? He's not gonna mash those buttons the same way again.
Yeah.
Vietnam was like that, right? Maybe you pick Samus the next time. That was Bo's plan.
Your brother
That was
beating
Bo's
the brakes.
plan.
Your brother beating the brakes off you every time, right? Yeah, got it.
So, unfortunately, the money that Bo raised telling pointless lies about his time in Vietnam did not extend past partying in Florida. One member of the group, so they run out of money at the cheerleading academy.
Oh, really?
And one member of the group, Terry fucking Smith, suggests, hey guys, I know how we can get some extra money. We're in Florida, it's the 80s. Let's go murder a bunch of coke dealers and take their money.
I was like,
and we'll fund our trip to Vietnam, well, to Laos, with coke dealer money.
I said to myself, they gonna say they gonna sell coke. And I was like, nah, that'd be dumb.
No, that'd be dumb. They're gonna take money from coke dealers.
I was like, oh, you gonna rob coke dealers. Oh, yeah.
We're gonna start an independent war with the cartels so that we can start an independent war with Vietnam, you know?
At their base.
This
at
man
the
is not paying
cheerleading
attention
camp.
at
At the
all.
cheerleading
Out of
camp.
the cheerleading base.
Now, Terry Smith told the Time magazine, if I gotta kill 20 American bad guys to get 100 POWs out of Vietnam, I'll do it. Of course, Terry, absolutely.
Terry said,
man.
go fight Roar.
That was good, Sophie.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was
So,
go fight where I was good.
Operation Velvet Hammer worked out about as well as an actual Velvet Hammer. After this, Bo doesn't give up. That's one thing the military taught him. The military taught him two things. One is how to stick to a plan, and the other is how to not win a war in Vietnam, right? Those are the two things he learns from his service. So Bo organizes a smaller group to hunt for clues in Thailand. And I have to assume that the word hunt here means smoke, and the word clues here stands for Thai sticks. Anyway, They find no information about any POWs
'cause he just
hunting in Thailand.
He just shooting out arbitrary countries
Sure.
that are like close to where.
Look, you know what? We say that. Actually, Prop, if you guys want to donate some money, you know, really, really coughin' and give deep, I think we could find some POWs in Thailand.
I'm pretty sure we can.
We're gonna need like 6 weeks at La Meridian in Bangkok, and I think we can knock it out. I really think we can knock it out.
I was a little specific.
Yeah.
It's just one boat. It's just just one bus into the bush.
Right.
But we could stay out there and
Based in the La Meridian.
Yeah. Do some like
Well,
mental health work and
Look,
This
massages.
podcast is not
you
sponsored
guys
by
aren't
La
all,
Meridian.
You guys aren't all in intel, but let me tell you, as a CIA man, all of the real information comes from massage artists.
And they're
So
all-
my plan is to get like 8 hours of massages a day, right? And then I'll figure out where all of the prisoners are. So it's a good idea.
And most of them speak English, right?
I don't know.
Speak English. Also, as a side note, as I've been sitting here, I thought Velvet Hammer also sounds like a Prince album.
Yeah, that would be a pretty
Ooh,
good name for a
yeah,
Prince
yeah,
album.
yeah,
It'd be a Prince album. Anyway,
Yeah. Also, not a bad band name. Anyway.
it's actually a pretty
How are
good
they
band.
not out of money completely at this point?
Well, they're continuing. Well, actually, we'll talk about who's giving them money, because that's fun, Sophie. That's really fun. So Bo keeps raising money and public awareness of U.S. POWs that are definitely still trapped in Vietnam. He succeeds in securing several high-profile celebrity donations.
Wait, who do you think it is?
Yeah.
Who do you think it
give me,
is?
Give me 2 names.
Kissinger.
No,
No,
celebrities.
no.
Celebrities, like movie stars.
Movie star.
Movie or TV.
I was like John Wayne, Robert Redford, who not
Ollie
Schwarzenegger.
North's not a TV star or a movie star at this point in time.
You're all
will
getting
become
very
that.
close,
Yeah.
but you're not there yet.
No.
Yup. Who said
Someone
it?
said Eastwood. Clint Eastwood sends $30,000 and allegedly promised to get Ronald Reagan's blessing. Allegedly, Bo says, Clint said, if you can find proof of a POW, I'll make sure Reagan sends in an airstrike, right? I don't know if Clint Eastwood did
Clint
shit,
Eastwood.
other than he definitely sent the money, right? And then, no one's gonna guess this. William Shatner donated
Buddy.
10.
Boo!
Now, to be fair to our boy, Bill Shatner sends 10 grand if in exchange for the rights to Bo Gritz's life.
Okay,
right?
never mind.
Right? Bill's got an angle. We know
I
our
see the
boy.
play. I see the play.
Captain Kirk knows what he's doing.
Respect,
right?
like actually
Yeah.
respect. You know what I'm saying?
I think 10K is a hilarious amount for his life rights.
Yeah. So the money that they raise is enough that in November of 1982, Bo finally succeeds in taking a commando team to Laos, where the most obvious thing happens. And I want to quote from Bruce Franklin's book, MIA, here. Almost as soon as they arrived in Laos, they were ambushed, routed, and forced to flee as fast as they could back to Thailand. The ambushers, contrary to their initial assumptions, were not even treacherous communists, but a rival anti-communist Laotian group whom Gritz's men had offended in Thailand, and to whom Gritz, ironically enough, reportedly had to pay $17,500 ransom to recover a captured American teammate. The raiders, of course, encountered no POWs. Now, there's a couple of things about this. First off, they did kind of succeed in rescuing a POW.
Yes. Touche.
Did they bring that POW with them? Yes. But they did save him. Second,
That is glorious.
it's time for another drink because also 2 of his local Laotian guides die in the ambush, which is very sad. Although you have to imagine the guys who are taking him into the jungle, probably not great, right? The dudes who were working with this guy, I don't know. Anyway, that's sad. Still sad. Take a drink.
That is so funny.
So
not the death.
Not the deaths.
But
the fact that they immediately get ambushed, robbed, and
Immediately.
ransomed, super funny. Now, if you're keeping track, the only American captive they've encountered is someone they brought with them. But the very next month, Bo tries again, flying to Thailand and renting a $1,000 a month safe house. And $1,000 a month in the 1980s, that is a nice fucking safe house.
it's a lot of money.
Again, prop, we could find some information.
Listen,
Thailand.
in a
That's all I'm
$1,000
telling
a
you.
month
Yeah.
safe house. Some
That's
of y'all
not a
could
bad
come
amount
through.
of money today. You're staying in a nice, well, $1,000 a month, I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Safe houses, you know, they're on a sliding scale. So one of
But they're
Bo's
safe.
comrades claims to have totally seen bad guys across the border drilling with weapons. Sure, maybe. Like, it's Vietnam. They have an army now. like they're their country, right? Like, they're allowed to do that? He's like, I was so angry I couldn't fight them. It's their country. What are you doing over there?
You came, you flew all the way from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, presumably from Florida, yeah. Bo's last attempt was in the spring of 1983, and it ended when Thai police immediately arrested 2 of his commandos for possession of illegal radio transmitters. So...
Did nobody ask y'all to come, fam?
No one wants you here.
You did not need
Now-
to be here. Okay.
This is not a success by any definition, but it got attention. People do pay attention to what Bo is doing. He gets hauled before Congress in March of 1983. Now, Congress had concluded, as I said, in 1976, that there were no more POWs being held by Vietnam. So Bo was asked, what evidence do you have to counter these conclusions? And Bo answers, I have the same evidence that might be presented to a convention of clergymen that God exists. So like none?
Wait.
So like none?
That's not a bar,
so
my
like
G.
no evidence?
That's not a bar,
Look, man,
fam.
I'm not anti, faith or whatever, but we don't invade countries based on, well, we do actually a lot.
Actually,
Hey,
we
you
do
know
all
what?
the time.
That's actually often why we invade. Okay, yeah. Point to Bo. Now, in another interview, one of Bo's former volunteers, Tom Smith, said of Gritz, I wouldn't cross the street with this guy. He's suffering from the early stages of burning a bush complex. Which, first off, it's not burning a bush. I don't understand why you said it that way.
No, it's
That's a real
burning
viable,
bush.
It's a burning bush.
It's, yeah.
You're not burning, maybe he's saying he was lighting a bush on fire to, like, fake it.
Maybe,
I guess that could be good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's some slang we just don't know.
Maybe, yeah, this is some old...
There are more important things here. Continue.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the attention that Bo drew mattered, though, to someone. Well, to a group. Hollywood. Bo's story inspired and did legitimately inspire Rambo First Blood Part 2, in which John Rambo was sent to a secret U.S. base in Thailand to invade Vietnam on his own and rescue POWs. There's other movies that were inspired by Bo's story, Chuck Norris's Missing in Action series, and the Gene Hackman film Uncommon Valor, R.I.P. Gene, were also inspired by Bo's fantasies of rescuing POWs overseas. And, here's my favorite side fact, the character Hannibal Smith on the A-Team, inspired partly by Bo Gritz.
Serious?
Yeah, I know.
Hannibal?
And the real, number one, the real Hannibal would have found those POWs.
He would have
if they
found
were
them.
there.
Absolutely.
And number
I would
two,
have pitied them fools.
absolutely, absolutely.
Sorry.
I do love the A-Team.
You can tell Rob's had half a drink.
Yeah. This was like he poured this like a glass of water.
It was a thick pour.
Like shout out whoever like
yeah.
you trying to put me up
It
under
was
this
as
table.
thick as the C4 necklace around
Yeah.
that guy's neck. So, what? I didn't do it.
You're supposed to say no.
Yeah.
No.
All right, everybody do your drink. So, after 1983, Bo seems to have largely and quietly given up on his plans to rescue these totally real U.S. POWs in order to become an influencer in the growing militia movement. He joined the Mormon Church, starred in a direct...
No.
You gotta wait for the sentence to finish. Starred in a direct-to-video ripoff of Charlie's Angels called Rescue Force. I know what everyone's watching tonight. And in 1988, agreed to run as the vice presidential candidate for the Populist Party. Anybody know the Populist Party? Anybody heard of these guys? Well, they were the political party of a group called the Liberty Lobby, which was founded by a guy we've talked about on Behind the Bastards, a Holocaust denier and Hitler fan, Willis Carto. Right? There we go. Yeah.
It all
Big
looped
Willie.
together, guys.
Willis Carto is he is like the grandfather of American fascism as an organized political movement that is like working within like mainstream conservatism and attempting to radicalize and influence mainstream conservatism, right? Carto is the guy, he was the dude who was a lot smarter than like the neo-Nazis. He was like, no. You gotta dress this shit up a little bit if you're gonna do it. And Carto sees Bo, and he's like, charismatic,
that's my guy.
War hero, good at getting media attention. And Carto kind of scouts him to be the VP candidate, right? Bo says that he was poached directly by Willis Carto, although Bo would then later claim that he was shocked and appalled when at that year's convention for the Populist Party, the presidential nomination was won by another fella you might have heard of, David Duke.
I tell you what, man, this Carto guy must be really smiling in hell right now.
Oh, he's having a great time.
He's having a great time in hell right now.
Yeah. So now I will say this in interviews, because Bo Gritz, as with other parts of his life, gives two different stories. The one that he gives at the time and the one that he gives years later when people ask. Years later, he will be like, oh, I was horrified. The instant I heard that David Duke was the presidential candidate, within 48 hours, I'd resigned. I would absolutely never have worked with such a racist. At the time, in news articles written immediately afterwards, Bo said he was okay with working with Duke because he met with David Duke and made him promise, a solemn promise, not to be a racist in the campaign. Not to have a racist campaign. And David Duke said it wasn't gonna be a racist campaign. What more can you ask? You know?
He said he wasn't gonna do it.
Sounds fine to me.
Take a man by his word.
He promised a Klansman's okay, well, you know. All right.
Jesus Christ, Robert.
So, the good news is that after they lost, Bo complained to Carto.
You could stop that sentence right there. The good
news is that they lost.
They lost.
For now.
Yes.
Yeah.
For
I
now.
know, right? Let's not think too much about what's happening on yeah. So the good news is that Bo complained after they lost to Willis Carto that David Duke did, quote, more harm to the Populist Party than Hitler would have. Now,
okay.
This, I'm going to give you a second. This kind of insinuates to me that Bo would have been okay with running as the VP for Hitler.
No, literally.
Right?
That's
Is
exactly
that
what he
not
just
maybe
said.
what he's saying
Yeah.
a little bit?
At first I was like, okay, let him cook. Let me, what are you trying to say here? Like, help me understand. And because my first thought was, so you'd been cool.
So you might have run with Hitler? If he'd promised not to run a racist campaign.
As long as Hitler don't do a racist campaign.
Hitler's on his best behavior. We can go to Olive Garden. No, that's all right. I don't know why.
or Golden Corral.
Are you hungry or something? What's happening?
I just think Hitler and Olive Garden is a funny image, Sophie. Because when you're there, you're family. So,
bro, you are on a roll today, dude.
Do you think he was a super salad guy? I think salad.
he was a salad guy, canonically.
He's salad and unlimited breadsticks all
Definitely
day.
unlimited breadsticks.
Killing the
Yeah,
breadsticks.
yeah.
That man is not ordering a plate.
I'm actually in the audience is a very dear friend of mine who we decided at one point, I'm not really sure why, to come in at Olive Garden one day on a Tuesday, the very minute they opened at 9 or 10 in the morning. Now, we were both wearing skirts that we'd sewn each other, and we both had T-shirts that had our favorite conspiracy theory on them. I do forget what mine was, but his just said Michael Jackson was murdered, written on the front of a white T-shirt in Sharpie. And we proceeded
what the
to
hell
sit
going
down.
on, man?
Now,
Who are you, bro?
The reason why we showed up is Olive Garden sells 3-liter bottles of wine. So we ordered 2 of them, and then nothing but 6 liters of wine and breadsticks. Yeah. And the experiment, because we also brought with us a big roll of butcher paper, and we started outlining the conspiracies that we believed ruled the world. So we were drawing a big flow chart, talking about the Freemasons and all of these different conspiracies. And the goal was, when will they stop serving us breadsticks?
Yeah.
And eventually it did get to the point where we got half a breadstick on a plate, and I was like, yeah, it's probably time to bounce.
Hey, let me ask y'all this. As fans of the show, how many times have you thought to yourself, how does this man survive? How are you still alive? I'll be thinking that, how are you still alive, fam? Yeah.
I will say, as soon as we got back to my house, my friend who was in the audience vomited so much on the floor. Yeah. I almost made it to the toilet. So
yeah.
I'm just bragging a little bit.
Okay.
Pretty close. Not at all. Not at all. Literally 3.5 feet further. Anyway.
Yeah.
back to the story. So, the good news is, well, not the good news. He runs again in 1992, this time as the presidential candidate for the Populist Party, and he does twice as well as David Duke, winning 0.1% of the national popular vote to Duke's 0.05. So, not bad. That same year, 92, Bo played what would be arguably his one positive role in U.S. political culture, which is when he kind of ended the Ruby Ridge standoff. So if you're vaguely familiar, there's this guy, Randy Weaver, and his friends in the Aryan nations. He gets paid by a dude who turns out to be an ATF agent to saw off some shotguns, and then they raid his house, and an agent is shot dead by, I forget which member of his group killed the agent, but an ATF agent's killed, and the ATF kills his young son, who's a child, and his wife, right? Mm-hmm. And a big, this is called Ruby Ridge, huge standoff. This is like a seminal moment in the fucking militia movement. It's a big deal, and because Gritz is a really famous figure in the militia movement, he gets he basically, I think he reaches out directly to the feds actually, but anyway, he winds up flown in and talks to Randy Weaver and talks Weaver down. And the siege ends without further loss of life. This is a legitimate thing that Bo did, and it's good, right? It's good that more people, because Randy had his kid. I don't care that much about Randy, but he had another kid, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want them to die. And that's good. This is the only good thing that Bo does. But he did do that. Now, because Randy Weaver had some close ties to the Aryan nations, and because Gritz's 1992 campaign was seen as a watershed moment for white supremacists in the U.S., Bo was accused of himself being a racist. Can you believe it? Now, Idaho State University professor James Aho told the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, that as far as he could see, Gritz wasn't, quote, an out-and-out racist. And Gritz himself repeatedly emphasized that he had 2 Asian American children, so he couldn't
Of course
be
he did.
Now,
of course he did.
Classic.
He was in them huts.
he was in that hut. Yeah.
He was in them huts.
Yeah.
You can't be racist, you in them huts. The hell are we talking about, man?
Now, I think it's accurate to say that Bo's primary motivation wasn't white supremacy. But it's kind of weird to say that he wasn't an out-and-out racist, given some comments he made about people of the Jewish faith. Per the SPLC, earlier this year, this is 2005, I think, in a lengthy diatribe falsely alleging Jewish control of the media and financial institutions, he wrote, "Why is there such an intense effort toward Jewish control? I don't think it is right for such a special interest group to control our nation."
Wait a minute, 2005?
Yeah,
How old is this man?
Article. He's still alive.
God.
Yeah, I know, it's a bummer.
Dang it, man.
Elsewhere he wrote, "Do you see the sign, the scent, the stain, and mark of the beast on America today? Are you willing to submit and join this seed line of Satan? Look to those who are openly antichrist. Who in the world is promoting abortion, pornography, pedophilia, godless laws, adultery, new age international banking, entertainment industry, and world publishing? Wherever you find a perversion of God's laws, you will find the worshipers of Baal with their roots still in Babylonian mysticism."
What the hell? What are you talking
So,
about?
he's not an out-and-out racist.
God,
This man named, it just, even his racism being just broken, this man naming all the enemies
Right.
of the Israelites. You know what I'm saying?
I guess
They worship, yeah. Look, I grew up in church, y'all.
Well, he is arguing that that's Judaism is worshiping Baal. That's
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm
yeah.
like, bruh, never mind.
We
Y'all
don't need
been
to
to Sunday
argue with
school.
Bo Gritz on theology. But the point of it is that, to be fair, in rural Idaho, that is kind of middle-of-the-road racism, right? Like, he's not an extremist for rural Idaho.
He's a free trial version, right? Like,
yeah. In January of 1993, after losing his second presidential election, Bo pivoted to a new grift. He started Spike, S-P-I-K-E. It's
Stop
an acronym.
letting him name things.
I know.
He's so annoying.
Spike was a training program that stood for specially prepared individuals for key events.
That means nothing.
bruh, I swear, I was
No.
so worried you was about to say, like, Spike TV.
No, yeah, he founded Spike TV.
I was like, he's founded Spike TV?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. So the idea was he was bringing in experts to teach classes that would turn you could like order VHS tapes off the internet and it will turn you into a special forces operator if you watch enough of them, right? That's all that's standing in between you and being a Navy SEAL is watching enough VHS tapes. That's actually true. Buy the VHS tape cassette series I've got going on. I don't know what to call it. I didn't think of an acronym, sorry. Anyway, Spike winds up ultimately building a video library of about 100 hours of content that they would ship to anyone willing to pay. Now, by the early 90s, Bo had also relocated to the Pacific Northwest, where we all call home. Yeah, because this is coincidentally right around the same time as the so-called Northwest Imperative really gets going. This is the idea of moving white people en masse to this part of the country in order to create a new white homeland. Now, it starts to really pick up, it doesn't start at this, but it starts to really pick up steam in the 90s, right? And coincidentally, this is also when Bo launches a new business venture.
What does he call it?
Well, I'm telling you. He sells parcels of land in an intentional community for members of the militia movement called Almost Heaven.
Stop letting him name things.
Billed as a constitutional covenant community, Almost Heaven was a way to take the underlying ideology of the Northwest Imperative and extend it beyond stock Nazism to something palatable for a wider, but still far-right audience. He claimed to have picked the location by studying maps of nuclear fallout and military bases to determine the safest place in America.
Wow.
I think it's where the land was cheapest. He announced the start of this new venture by crashing a Kamia town hall meeting in 1994 and declaring the public school system a cesspool and accusing the local government of being run by, and then he uses a slur for gay people that starts with F. Local resident and activist Larry Nims later claimed, Gritz came here and made a lot of noise. He told people that if they didn't like him, then get out of Dodge. And I'm thinking, who is he to tell people around here to get out of Dodge? He didn't even live in Dodge yet. And Nims,
Pretty
my heart
funny.
goes out. Nims is like a progressive activist in rural Idaho in the early 90s who's like, we'll talk about like, Bo is the one who brought a lot of guys with guns out here, right?
Yeah.
Like this has not been a problem before him, but he really makes, like the current state of affairs is seriously influenced by Gritz, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just like learning. Like that's
Fucking
amazing.
bummer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really learning.
The Aryan nations had been out in Hayden Lake previously, so it's not entirely under Gritz, but he does play a significant role in this because of how famous he is, right?
I still just wonder, and it's like this sounds like a joke, but I'm like dead serious. I'm like, man, what do they eat? I'm like
Nazi? Oh no, guys. Well,
like if you're gonna make an Almost Heaven, because I'm like,
You
I'm
can
thinking
still go
about.
to
I
the
used to live in
grocery
Portland,
store.
so I used to live in Portland. I lived in Portland a while back. You know what I'm saying? But like, I mean, this is like the Double Dragon joint with this pock. Like I'm like, there's so many good places to eat here. I'm like, you don't want that? Like
no. He's living in the woods eating dried food that he bought off of, what's his name? Baker, the fucking weirdo. Yeah.
Jim Baker.
Jim Baker, thank
Jim
you very
Baker.
much.
I'm like,
I recently
man, like,
watched
why
the
y'all-
movie, by the way, about him that came out
Why y'all
recently with
haven't-
Andrew Garfield? Good.
why y'all haven't got no like Old Bay? Like just
Right.
season some.
That's why it's almost heaven.
It's almost
It's
heaven.
almost heaven. They forgot the seasoning.
It's low sodium heaven.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Almost Heaven worked for a little while. Unfortunately, Bo and his business partner made the bad decision to buy their land as a common law trust. And I don't know a lot about this, but the way in which they did this made it very difficult for their customers to get titles, and basically impossible. They couldn't get titles to their property in their names, and they couldn't get property insurance in their own names, which is a problem. A flurry of lawsuits followed by people who thought that they had been conned. Pretty true, accurately. And problems escalated as contractors started suing Gritz and his business partner for failing to pay for road construction and other infrastructure work. They kind of took a leaf out of the Trump book, right?
Yeah.
The slow collapse of Almost Heaven was escalated both by incompetence like this and the fact that, more than anything, Bo wanted to make money, not fund a right-wing revolution. And a lot of his critics on the right are like, Bo, aren't you making the army that's going to, like, liberate us? No? Oh. So the other problem is that Bo keeps taking calls throughout the late 90s from the FBI to try and talk down militia groups like the Montana Freemen, which ultimately alienated his third wife, Claudia, a former karate instructor.
Did I miss the second wife?
Yeah, that was the lady he met.
Oh,
the sex
yeah,
worker
okay, I
that
remember now. Yeah. Okay.
Shockingly, didn't last.
Yeah. Who knew?
Marriages that start in Vietnam, yeah.
Stay in Vietnam.
there you go.
That's a good one.
So, like all those POWs, by the end of 1998,
That was good. That was very good.
by the end of 1998, Bo's business partner had stolen nearly all of the money made by Almost Heaven, and Claudia left him after 24 years of marriage.
Claudia did 24 years.
She did
Stuck
24
it in there a
most.
while.
Girl.
She stuck it out.
Bo attempted
Dump
suicide
him.
by
What?
shooting himself in the chest in December of 1998, but he survived and is still alive today.
God.
I don't have a happy ending here. He did shoot himself. Again, for whatever reason, a through line in this guy's story is people shooting themselves in weird ways. The chest? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to backseat kill Bo Gritz to Bo Gritz, but...
However.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. That concludes the Behind the Bastards episodes.
Jeez.